We have overtaken a ride-on lawnmower. We have zoomed by a tricycle. And we whisked by a food mixer. Are you ready, Sean?
Let's do this.
Two men fast and furious, Roy Taylor and Sean Woods, both diagnosed with MND, are taking on a challenge the world has never seen before. They're going to lap Mondello in their wheelchairs. Saturday, September 25th at Mondello. Witness history.
One health check, 4 hours, total peace of mind. Beacon Hospital's Health Check is Ireland's only advanced health screening programme with results delivered on the same day. This is modern medicine. This is Beacon Hospital. Book your Beacon Health Check today at beaconhospital.ie.
Welcome to Mondello Park for the ICCR, a new promotion that's coming to circuit racing this year at Mondello Park, supported by Mondello Park and supported by Digital Motorsports. It's been a revelation for circuit racing in Ireland this year, and everything has happened so quickly. The promotion has been brilliant. People, as soon as they've been allowed, have come back. The grandstands are full again. It's great to see. We were sold out for the last race meeting. This is day 2 of round 4 of the ICCR, and we've had some great racing yesterday. We're expecting even better racing today. What we weren't expecting was this weather. The heavens have absolutely opened at Mondello Park. We usually use the iPhone app. It's nearly always right, but this is the first time it's been completely wrong. We were told there was going to be clear weather, and the weather in Mondello Park historically has always come from out over turn 3 and back in towards us. We'll get a shot of that later on, but that's slightly starting to clear slightly later on, but certainly this morning, treacherous conditions in qualifying, which is difficult for the drivers, but it's great for us and it's great for you because it's thrown the cat amongst the pigeons in a number of different championships. Fiesta ST, the Siltec Safety Fiesta ST, for example, Ian Fishburne, incredible lap, and he managed to get that in and get pole position. Michael Barrable, champion-elect, starts alongside him. A couple of really good drivers as well in the ST's going really well. We've got a number of really good classes racing here today. We'll be starting off shortly, in fact, and the first race is going to be the Irish Touring Car Championship, the ITCC, and they'll run concurrently with the Irish Supercars powered by Pirelli and the Say It Supercup Ireland, and they'll give us 3 races within one and great entertainment there too. The big one there, I suppose, is that Alex Denning, who won the Fiesta ST Championship here a couple of years, or last year I should say. Really quick tin top driver, has jumped into a Say It, and he seems to be able to challenge Shane Murphy, something no one else has managed to do so far, so all eyes on that one. In fact, Alex's brother Dara Denning has jumped into Alex's Fiesta ST, and he's right on the pace too. He's really quick in wet qualifying this morning, flashing the headlights for some of the regulars like Eddie Peterson and Dave McGuire to get out of his way so he could do a quick lap. But Graham McDonald's taken pole in that one, and he also, like Michael Barrable, has one hand on the championship. And Michael Roach, an incredible lap in big open single-seaters, Formula Boss Ireland, the Finstown supported class. They were really difficult to drive, loads of wheel spin, loads of aquaplaning going under the bridge here in Mondello Park. Some of the really fancy contenders backed down a little bit. Perhaps they had too much power. So that'll be interesting when they get on track later on. So they're out before lunch. Then the Coffee to Go Fiesta ST Championship. We'll have a quick break for lunch. We'll go live again then with the Siltec Safety Fiesta Z-Tech Championship. 21 of those cars on the grid, so that should be some great tin-top action. Then the Irish Autoparts.ie Future Classics. And I think it's Tomás O'Rourke, the rallyman, who's put his Slaney View Honda on pole position. They always have to think with their way, use tactics, stuff like that. Aidan Byrne has been doing a lot of the winning. He's very experienced in that class this year, but the rain means that they could have a real go, and Tomás O'Rourke, I think, took pole position in that when he was well ahead in the closing stages. Then we'll have the Finstown House Formula Boss Ireland Championship, which should be really good. Great entertainment this year. They're just back from Kirkistown, where Sylvie Mullins took the win in his he took the Leinster Trophy in his Red Bull liveried gold Hillclimb chassis with a Formula 1 Judd engine in the back. More about that later on. Then we're going to have the big one, of course, is the Martin Brain Trophy, which is going to be presented today to the winner of the Formula V race. It's a championship race, so they'll be racing for points, but they'll also be racing for the glory of winning that incredible Martin Brain Trophy, the trophy that's going to remember the man whose track really is his legacy. And we have his collection in the museum over there. He bought the track in 1985. He extended it. We only have the international loop because of Martin Brain. We only have the pit lane garages, in fact, even where I'm standing. And had he not bought the circuit in 1985, there's a chance that this could be a housing estate or something. Now we mightn't have a racetrack at all. So we've a lot to thank him for, and that's the big one. That's at 3 o'clock live with us here at Mondello Park. Then the ITCC Supercars and Say It back out for their second race, and all the other classes will have a repeat race. So everybody's going to be out on track twice today. We're coming towards the end of the season, and they're fighting for championship points, so it's getting a little bit more serious than it was. They'll all be adding up the points and trying to get use their dropped rounds and do a lot of calculations. But basically, we're going to have a lot of action here at Mondello Park today. We're expecting it to dry a little bit. We'll have a look out there over the Hill of Allen, over turn 3, and it's gone a little bit clearer than it was this morning. That probably means the rain is going to ease off. There's no wind, so it will take a while for the track to dry off. But certainly, we'll have plenty of entertainment here today at Mondello Park. Well, here we go, ladies and gents. It's time to go racing. This, of course, if you're watching us live, you're watching the Beacon Hotel coverage of the ICCR at Mondello Park, the Irish Circuit Racing Championship, a new initiative for 2020, which has already boosted the circuit racing profile in Ireland. It's been very good for the discipline so far. It seems to get better at every race meeting. We weren't, as I said earlier, expecting these conditions, but they might give us a little bit of a treat watching today. Tough conditions for drivers, but should be some interesting stuff in this one. Now, let's have a look at the grid. They say at Supercups, Shane Murphy is nearly always on pole position, and I think he's unbeaten this year. He starts on pole position again, but alongside him is Alex Denning, the reigning Fiesta ST champion, and Alex Denning is very, very close, just a couple of tenths in it on the full international circuit that we're running this weekend. Then it's an all Toll second row with Jared Toll just ahead of Neil Toll, and then Sam Mansfield, who's just settling back in. He just climbed into this car for the first time in a long time yesterday, and Brian Berry next up. Now, there is some sort of an ECU swap that they've been running in this class. I don't have the details of that, but I do think that the pole man gets less power for the race than he had in qualifying. I'm still waiting for some details on that one. As soon as I get that, I'll share that with you. Then the Irish Supercars powered by Pirelli, just 5 of those cars out. We had 10 earlier in the year, so a little bit of work to be done there. But Wallum Watkins on pole beside Paul Parr. He was on the outside of the front row. Gary Corcoran, I think, was on early pole, but he visited the gravel during qualifying. Beautifully turned out Corcoran's car. And then it's John Newport and Charlie Lenan, another beautifully turned out car. Then it's the Irish touring cars. Alan Healy, the Cork man, taking pole position there, just about from Ulick Burke in the Honda Integra. Very close though. So then Stephen Traub and Alan Donnelly, and then Colin Morris and Stephen Martin in the production end of the Irish touring car. So very much a varied grid here at Mondello Park, and they're allowed a couple of warm-up laps, having a look around to see if where the grip is or isn't. You'll see some non-conventional racing drive lines used at Mondello Park today. Quite often at a race circuit, the quickest way around can be right around the outside of the corner and not go to an apex at all, because wherever traditionally the rubber is laid down, there can be a lack of grip there in wet conditions. Turn 1 always a great example of that here at Mondello Park. Just watching them coming around Southside Motor Factory's corner there, the final corner, almost a hairpin. It looks like a 90 right on the map, but it's very, very tight. Great overtaking spot always here at Mondello Park. So they're just getting up to temperature, getting used to having wet tyres on. You see them weaving around. That's Ulick Burke there in the Tire Brigade car, ex-Owen Drought Honda Integra. Now with a lot more power. He's had over 400 brake horsepower in that car, but found it almost undrivable. He's back down to only about 380 brake horsepower, he tells me now. And he works so hard on that car. It's beautifully turned out. He was telling me he had a lot of bump steer in the car and had to change all the front suspension since the last meeting. But he said that would explain why it was so hard to manage, especially through turn 2 and places like that at Mondello Park. So he had big hopes for this weekend, but he hasn't had a run in the car in the dry just yet. That's Brian Berry, well known to us, of course, in the Say It Supercup. So the full international circuit this weekend. Use that twice a year now. It used to be just once a year, but the guys get a chance to run on it twice a year. That's turn 3 in the distance. In fact, that's what I was talking about. That shot you can see there is that you can see the weather just out over turn 3, and that's where the weather comes from in Mondello Park. If you can see the hills behind those trees, it's probably clearing up. If you can't see it, you're probably going to get wet. There you go. That's the shot, and we can see the Hill of Allen just about, so we couldn't see it earlier on this morning. So that's a sign that probably the rain will clear. In fact, it has stopped raining now at Mondello, but there is there's no wind, and we usually need a bit of wind to dry it, or some car racing, which should dry it as well. So the front runners are just coming round the final corner, Southside Motor Factories, to come down and line up on the grid now. The Say It Supercup cars, factory-built touring cars, left-hand drive, pedal shift, just 2 pedals. Very enjoyable cars to drive, very quick around Mondello Park. A little bit lacking in numbers, but they do give us great racing. Number 970, Shane Murphy, the Turvas racing car, Turvas gas-backed, and he's a former world hot rod champion and a Say It champion as well. So we'll see if he can remain unbeaten today, or can Alex Denning do the job. And there you are, a great shot from the back of the grid now. The Seats up front, 970. Shane Murphy, former world hot rod champion, unbeaten this year, starts on pole, but very much a young star on the outside of the front row in the Winthrop car. Alex Denning, we know how quick he is. He's quick, he's wild, he's got loads of talent. Let's see if he can take it to Shane Murphy. Then the two tolls on the second row of the grid, and then Sam Mansfield, watch out for him. He's very quick, hasn't had much seat time in that car. And alongside him, Brian Berry, who was on pole position at the last race meeting. So this should be good now. We're missing somebody from the Supercars. We've only got 4 Supercars now. So it looks like Paul Parr. Don't know if he's been off on the warm-up lap or if he hasn't come out of assembly, but we don't see Paul Parr there. And then touring cars, away they go. Shane Murphy gets the nose ahead, and it's Gary Corcoran in the Supercars with a great start as they head down towards turn 1. It's Murphy, but look at Denning, not giving an inch, going to try and go right round the outside. Loads of experience, lots of years of karting as well from young Denning, so he'll know well where to go, looking for a little bit of grip. It's just that Sam Mansfield been swamped a little bit by the Irish touring cars, the ITCC cars as they go through, but it's Shane Murphy out in front, 970. There he goes out towards turn 3. Tricky in these cars. They set these cars up pretty loose at the back end, so when you come off the power, the back moves around. You don't want that in these conditions. Look at Toll in third place, right on Denning's rear bumper, up over that inside curb. And Corcoran right with them in the supercar. Gary Corcoran, great stuff from him. And then Brian Berry and Watkins side by side. So here they come down towards Bridgestone corner now. The long left-hander, it's usually half of the S's at Mondello Park, but they stay going left here today and up onto the international loop, up Kennedy's Rise. Towards Lola corner. Look at Gary Corcoran, he's got some pace here, he's having a real go, he's right with those Seats. So Denning now hanging onto the back, he will not want to let Shane Murphy get away. Look at Murphy around to the outside, doesn't go in for an apex at all. Denning with a tighter line, I think it was slightly quicker, it's hard to know. Brian Berry getting out of shape. Oh, side by side, Alan Healy there and Ulick Burke in the Irish touring cars in the background. Here comes Denning on the brakes. Murphy has to close the door down into 7A. And Toll down the inside of Denning. I don't think Denning was looking in the mirrors. That's cost him a place. Great stuff from Toll now. That's Neil Toll taking third. Oh, a little bit of contact. Ulick Burke down the inside of the other Toll car there. They both backed out of it, but that's cost him the lead of the Irish touring cars. And in fact, Toll now leads. He's got by Murphy as well. This is great stuff. So Neil Toll on a big charge here. Dispatched Denning in one corner, dispatched Murphy in the next corner, and he's taken the lead. Watkins, it looked like, necked up. Then Corcoran, but great stuff in this outside car. And he leads at the moment, so showing his wet weather prowess in these conditions. In up over that inside curb. A lot of people stay off the curbs in these conditions, but not so for Neil Toll. Takes a bite out of the inside curb there. He looks very confident, doesn't he? Look at the back of the car getting loose. Stands on the power and pulls it back straight up to the paddle-operated gearbox now. And they say it's in danger of being caught by the Supercars. The Supercars are caught a lot lighter than these Seats. The conditions might suit them a little bit better. Here they come down towards turn 1. Told it is now. Murphy under pressure. He's obviously lacking a little bit of straight line power with that ECU that he's had to put on as a result of taking pole position. That's Sam Mansfield in the Finstown Hotel car. Also backs the Formula Boss series through that company. But this is great stuff from Toll out front. Looking good for his first Seat win. He gets him out of shape, doesn't he? Back end of the car right out to the gas. He's holding it well, but the car is certainly on a knife edge down there. Then it's Alex Denning, Watkins, and Murphy. Somebody off. Is that Brian Berry? It is. Brian Berry in the back. So easy for it to happen. It almost happened to the leader there, didn't it? Coming through the first apex. Look at him looking for grip right out to the outside of the track to get it turned in. Then it's this battle for second place. 2 different races, of course, but they're still battling away. So it's the Winthrop car of Alex Denning now under pressure from Watkins in the supercar. Supercar way lighter and can come in much later on the brakes there. Back end moving around. It should have better traction on the way out. Indeed it does. And they're side by side, the two red and white cars now on the run down to 7A and B. Watkins should get it done here on the brakes down into 7A. He does. Nice stuff. That puts him up to second place overall and leading the supercars. Wonder can he catch the leader now? Oh, off goes Gary Corcoran. That was his closest challenger. Gary Corcoran, that beautifully prepared car. He'd need to get out of there pretty quick. Not a place where you want to park in these conditions. There's Alan Healy coming through. He's leading the Irish touring cars, the ITCC. They've given us great racing this year as well. So the Cork man in his Honda. There's Alex Denning in the Winthrop car. We're currently third overall and second in the Seats as Watkins chases down Neil Toll for the lead in this one. It's great when they mix the classes up. It gives us good racing as they come back through paddock corner there, up over the inside curb now and heading up towards Southside Motor Factors corner, appropriately enough leading in the Southside Motor Factors car So Neil Toll going nicely. There's Alex Denning. Shane Murphy, nothing he can do. Oh, that's Ulick Burke. It's been a great charge from Ulick Burke. He's actually leading the ITCC. And look at him side by side now as he gets alongside the Sayed. It's great stuff from Ulick. I thought it was Healy leading, but Ulick was hidden in behind that Sayed. And he's having a look down the inside, but there are big, proper touring car brakes on these Sayeds. So Shane Murphy gives him a little bit of space. That's all Ulick needs. The car obviously handling a lot better than it has been all year. And it's Toll, then Sam Mansfield next up, and then it's Alan Healy who's in second place in the ITCC part of the race. So this is interesting stuff. Back to the lead now. Watkins still closing down the leader. A little bit of a dry line beginning to appear. Ulick Burke looking very quick. I wonder, can he catch these guys? Be interesting if we saw the three cars from three different classes having to go with each other here. I'm sure that's not what they want, but it's what we want. ICCR is all about entertainment, and we're getting it here today. Watkins gets a little bit sideways, hangs on to it though, and gets that run up the hill. And Alex Denning can't quite stay with him. And here comes Ulick Burke in the Honda Integra, absolutely flying. So I wonder, can Ulick close him down? The lap times will be interesting at the end of this one. This is where Watkins got the place before, but Toll with far better traction out of there than Alex Denning had the last time round, in comparison to Watkins certainly. And they head down the long back straight on the international loop. Watkins trying to close him down on the brakes. Toll looking quite comfortable here. Then it's Denning, then it's Ulick Burke. Up towards Bahrain's Benz, named after Martin Bahrain, man who developed the circuit and added on this international loop. Watkins not making an impression really. He caught him very quickly, but I think Toll's got the head down a little bit. We'll have a look at the lap times on the monitor when they go by. There's Jared Toll. Watkins a bit closer now after that long left-hander. He should be up over the inside curb. Is he going to have a go into this outside corner here? He looks a bit racy on the way up the hill. No, decides not to. Stays to the outside. Toll gets right into the apex and on the power early. Very little difference as they come back towards us, but they're close together as they go across the line. Let's have a quick look at the times. Toll with a 2:07.4, 2:07.4 also for Alan Watkins. Then Denning 2:08, so big difference there. 2:07 for Ulick Burke. So the front two runners clearly quicker than anybody else at the moment. And we're watching them now over the crest and out towards turn 3, the double apex right-hander. Tricky corner here at Mondello Park. Got to balance the car through the first bit and then not get it too much out of shape, but the back lets go, and that gives Watkins the gap he needs. It's a drag race now down to the final corner, but I think Watkins got better traction out of there and he has got the lead. Sayed looking to come back down the inside, but Watkins has the job done, gets it turned across his bows, and in fact the Sayed goes into understeer there and just loses another length or two. So Watkins now leads the Supercars as Alan Healy goes off at turn 3. It might look easy sitting on your couch looking at this on the live stream, but conditions, make no mistake, are very, very difficult out there. So Watkins leads the Supercars, Toll still leads the Sayed Supercup as they come through the long right-hander. Alex Denning next up, nothing he can do about these just yet. So Toll trying to close him down. He knows a Supercup win is what he wants, but he'd like to win on the road as well. In fact, is Denning a little bit closer, I suspect he is. Whereas Alex Denning been minding his tires. He's well closer now. This is a good lap for Alex Denning. He's closed right up to the back of the outside car. Oh, and it's very, very taily through there, isn't it? Beautifully held, but that will cost him time. Front wheel drive car, when it does that, you've no option but to stand on the power and pull it back straight. That's exactly what he did. But Alex Denning closing. And we know how good Alex Denning is in battle, so this will be interesting now as he closes him down for the Sayed Supercup lead. Watkins staying off that exit curve. Very experienced driver, multiple striker champion, of course, before he moved to Supercars. Denning almost up with Toll now as they start another lap. 6 minutes 20 still to go on this one, so plenty of laps still left to run. There's Shane Murphy. Looks like Murphy's not going to win, which is very unusual. Normally he's very, very hard to beat. He wins the first Sayed race from pole and then comes through from reverse grid to take the second one. But obviously this ECU system that they're running is giving a chance to others. Although the rain is a great leveler. Ulick Burke still trying to get closer to those Seats. He loves having to go with the Seats in the self-tuned, self-developed Honda Integra. Supercharged that engine as well. There's Watkins again, right out, touches the white line but stays off the curb. Alex Denning still trying to get in touch with Toll. There's still plenty of water. There won't be any chance of chunking tires or anything like that. They're not searching around looking for wet patches to cool wet tires just yet. Well, the track is drier than it has. There's been a fast lap every lap so far. Watkins currently has that one. This would be Denning would, if he could get by here, he'd be taking a win on his debut and say at Supercups, which would be pretty impressive stuff. But the Toll is not going to give this one up without a fight. He had a staunch defence for Watkins, and I'm sure it'll be even more so for Alex Denning. There's Watkins coming through Bahrain's bends, the right and left. Ulick Burke still there in the background in that supercharged Honda Integra, and he's leading the ITCC chase. Toll very wide there, Denning right into the apex. So two very different lines being used there. Great shot of that corner. We're not used to seeing it. Up over the curve for Watkins there. Two Seats together. Denning is surely about to make a move. Here he comes. A look down the inside. Toll sees it coming and defends. And Denning straight back to the outside. That's to try and get a better run on the way out. And here he comes. Good traction. He's straightened the car up before Toll. Toll is defending well, but Denning very much a thinking man here, having a look, setting him up for another move. Look at this. Puts the nose down the inside. Is he going to have a go? Is there's no room there down the inside, a little bit of contact, but there was a Seats work, but not a width I should say, but not much more. But Toll's hung on to it. So great stuff. Full commitment from Alex Denning down the inside there, and he's having another go on the outside of turn 3. There is no shortage of commitment from Alex Denning, but Neil Toll is driving so well today, and both of these really want this win. Denning suckered him in there, has he? No, I thought he'd driven him wide, but he hasn't. Toll just on top of it here. He mightn't have the ultimate pace at the moment of Denning, but he's putting the car in all the right places, and Alex Denning will really need to come up with a different option and have another think about this, but he's piling on the pressure now, Alex Denning. Toll's car a little bit too taily. That's cost him time. It's allowed Denning alongside on the run up. Kennedy's rise now, but Toll again holds on to it. Leaves the door open, almost inviting Alex Dunn, I almost said. Alex Denning to have a look down the inside. And there they go, Lola corner. I think he's gone too wide. That'll surely cost him. Will it cost him the place? Maybe not. He holds on to it beautifully, doesn't he, Neil Toll? Like, he gets the car out of shape, but it doesn't cost him too much time. It has allowed Denning up the inside though, and that was always going to be dangerous because Denning's so late on the brakes. Toll tries to go back at him now, but he's going to have to attack quickly because we know how much pace Denning has at this point in the race. So Alex Denning now leading on his Supercup debut. This young man really impressed us in Fiesta STs last year when he won the championship, and he's going to make his debut, I believe, in the JCW and the supporting British touring cars in Mini Coopers next month at Donington Park, and we'll all be stuck to the television to watch that one. But great stuff from him. Toll trying his best to fight back, but certainly Toll's car looks a little bit edgy, doesn't it? It gets out of shape if he pushes it all. The back end lets go, and he has beautiful car control and hangs on to it, but it's not the quickest way, I suppose. And Alex Denning up over the inside curb now as he tries to get away. Ulick Burke next on his shopping list is Toll. I think he's getting a bit closer there. Denning streaking away in this one. Well, Ulick Burke quicker than both of the Seats in front of him on that lap. So Burke still on a charge. Then 970 Shane Murphy, Turvas car. Then it's Gerard Toll and Sam Mansfield closing him down now. Great shot there, the second bit of turn 3. Unusual shot, we haven't seen it from there before. It looks great, shows you how tight that second apex is and how crucial it is to get in there and get up the hill. We're usually out of sight from us when they round that bit of the corner. We only see cars side by side. If someone gets a good run up, you can see how now. It's difficult to get the car into the apex there. So here Watkins, but I think the battle is going to be for third place for this one as Ulick Burke does close in on Toll. Let's watch this great holding that shot as they come through. There's Denning, there's Toll, and look at Ulick Burke now in the Integra, closing down that sale. This is very much a home-built Integra. It was Owen Drout's car, went well in the Irish touring cars, and then Ulick bought it and completely redeveloped it. Way more power than it had before. In fact, as we said earlier, it had too much power and he had to dial it back a little bit. And and then he's been working on the chassis and traction all year. Probably the quickest car in ITCC. Has great battles with Jay O'Reilly, but it tends to be very hard on its tyres, and towards the end of the race would be a little bit slower, but he thinks he has that sorted. He hasn't had any dry running just yet, but certainly the way that he's going in the wet, and look at that slide from Ulick, beautiful stuff. The way it's going in the wet would suggest he has sorted out that front suspension and the bump steer issue that he was suffering from. Oh, he's down the inside here. Surely he'll get alongside. Can they say it get better traction on the way out? It can. And all Ulick's work undone there. Toll just using the traction on the outside to stay ahead, but for how long? Ulick crowding him now on the way up to Southside Motor Factory's corner. Has a look to the inside, goes back to the outside. 46 now, high and wide, looking to get that run on the main straight. It'll be interesting to see what they're like in the main straight, because we know how quick that Integra is, but the Seats are not slow. He can't get alongside. Has to tuck back in behind him again. Ulick goes to the inside, back to the outside, having a look back to the inside. Stays behind him on this occasion, but this is great stuff. Good tin top action here from the ICCR at Mondello Park. So Ulick, of course, known to us from, he raced in ZTEC Fiestas as well, and sometimes comes out in the 6-hour race, which is on again this year, by the way, at Mondello Park on November the 7th. So if you want to go racing with a few mates at Mondello Park, you can have up to 4 drivers. All you need is a championship spec Fiesta ZTEC car. You can buy them for $2 or $2.5 grand, and you can have great fun here. The race starts at noon and it finishes in the dark at 6 o'clock on November the 7th. So there'll be more details of that on ICCR.ie and MondelloPark.ie shortly. Entries will be opening soon for that one. But Ulick Burke has done that race on a number of occasions. Moved up then to Fiesta STs, where he was a championship contender, and then into ITCC, where he's developed this car up to the level we see it at today. There's Toll now, Southside Motor Factory's beautifully liveried car. Burke really having a go. You've just got to wait in that corner in these conditions. You can't stand on the power. You're trying to balance it all the way through, but still you want the optimum run to get up to as much speed as you can on that back straight. They're down into 7A and B again, and once again Burke closing in on the brakes, but Toll's very composed. He doesn't react really to the pressure behind. We've seen that earlier on in this race. Here's Watkins with, in fact this is his final lap. He's still out on the international loop. Looks like he's going to take the Supercars, the win in the Irish Supercars powered by Pirelli class. So just 4 Supercars still running and nobody near Alan Watkins. And up over the inside curve comes Alex Denning, and he is going to take his a win on his debut, but Burke isn't finished just yet. Goes to the inside. Watkins going to take the Supercar class win as he comes down. Denning going to take the Seat Supercup win, but look at this. Last corner dive, it's side by side, a drag race to the line. Burke's got the nose ahead, there's nothing in it. Up through the gears, there's a roar from the Integra, and he takes it. Great stuff from Ulick Burke, and just about gets by Toll. And that really was good fun, and Shane Murphy has a grandstand seat for all of that one. So Ulick Burke's had trouble with that car during the year. I think he'll be really happy with that one. So Watkins takes the win and the Irish Supercar win, and is first across the line. Alex Denning on his debut takes the Seat Supercup win, which is great for him. And Ulick Burke third overall and takes the ITCC win. And then it's Neil Toll, Shane Murphy, Sam Mansfield, Gerard Toll, Brian Murphy, Gary Corcoran recovered to second in Supercars, then Alan Healy, who's second in ITCC, Charlie Lanane in Supercars, then Stephen Martin in ITCC, Stephen Traub, John Newport, Colin Morris and Alan Donnelly, the order in that one. So how about that for a little bit of tin top entertainment here at Mondello Park? 3 classes in together, and it does give us great entertainment. So well done to Alan Watkins, to Alex Denning and to Ulick Burke. Great entertainment from all of them, and I'm sure Ulick in particular will be very happy with that one, having done all that suspension work on the car during the week. So great stuff. And we're going to continue on with some more tin top action at Mondello Park, because it's the coffee to go Fiesta STs that are already being released from assembly. The one make class, 160 brake horsepower for this class. They're Fiesta STs. They're all built to one spec. They're tightly policed, and they give great racing here at Mondello Park. So there they are, all these little Fiestas, about 160 brake horsepower, all got the same suspension. They run the same ECU. They're very, very tightly policed, and as a result, really, really close racing. They're sponsored by Coffee to Go, the Dublin coffee chain, Dublin coffee shop chain, and that's of course owned by Graham McDonald, who has really stepped up this year, and he has been the man to beat. And even in wet conditions this morning, he's been fastest in qualifying. But only just alongside him is a young star, Jack Byrne. He's the current Ginetta Junior champion, the Wexford kid, and he has been so impressive. ST's, a lot of people think it's the most competitive saloon car class in the paddock. It's got some real big names there. And Jack Byrne took pole position last time out. He's had a win. He took pole position last time out. Just missed pole position this morning. And he will start on the front row in the FMK rust-proofing car. There it is, prepared by himself and his dad. He doesn't run with any of the big teams. And on the second row of the grid, of course, the entertainer, 88, Kevin Doran, in the Suzuki Drogheda and Hyundai Drogheda car. The dealership in Drogheda, their family business. And he's got the car done in Suzuki colours. Alongside him, David Maguire, massively experienced and a 3-time champion in this class. That's the red and white car of Dave Maguire. Then watch out on row 3 for Dara Denning, because Dara Denning is he's done a bit of Ginetta Junior racing, he's done a lot of kart racing. He's the brother of Alex Denning. He's jumped into Alex Denning's car and is right up there. He's on the 3rd row of the grid and 5th overall, but he was on the front row halfway through qualifying. He was right on the pace, and as I said earlier, flashing the lights at some of the bigger names to get out of his way so he could have another go. Alongside him, what a qualifying performance, Victor Cullen. Victor, son of Michael Cullen, in one of the 2 Beacon Sports Clinic cars. And he's been learning all year. I met him in the paddock on Friday after testing. He told me he'd found a chunk of time, which he seemed to have. Is there somebody off? Is that one of those Beacon cars? It is. Let's have a look as they go by. Victor Cullen, is that Michael Cullen in trouble? Certainly looked like it. But anyway, Victor Cullen on the 3rd row of the grid, his best qualifying position by a long, long way. Something up with Michael Cullen again. There's obviously a problem with that car. Stopped at the S's there. I wonder if there's something adrift at the back of that car. But anyway, we'll move on down the grid. Ronan McHale, he had a stunning qualifying position. He was in the mix right up to it. Max Turley has gone very well this year as well. The latest generation beginning to make their mark in this class. You've got some of the best saloon car drivers on the grid. Michael Cullen, Dave Maguire, people like that. They've been around for years. Gordon Kellett. But to see Victor Cullen up there, to see Jack Byrne up there, Dara Denning, it's wonderful to see, because they're the future of motor racing at Mondello Park, and a win would be absolutely wonderful for them. So Ronan McHale doing really nicely there as well in the LOH car. Then Eddie Peterson. Eddie won't be happy about that. He's very much a front runner here. He's a 5 times Hewison Auto Test champion. He's very quick in a racing car and has been right up the front all year. And he won't be happy to be back on the 5th row of the grid, so watch out for him. Alongside him, Michael Cullen. I don't know when the last time I saw Michael Cullen that far back down the grid. So I was expecting a charge up the grid from him, but we see he looks like he's in big bother. He's been off twice in the warm-up lap, so I don't know if there's something adrift at the back of the car or what's wrong. It's the second of those Beacon cars. That's Victor Cullen we're looking at. That's the car just coming into view now. The black and red car is Eddie Peterson. Just behind that right there is Michael Cullen, so obviously there's some sort of an issue there. Then it's Darragh McMullen and Ross Barnes on row 6, Trevor Farrar and Ryan Nugent on row 7, Simon Dean and Gordon Kellett on row 8, Chris Jones and Keane O'Brien, another newcomer, on row 9, and Christopher Grimes Jr. obviously had a bad qualifying. He was very quick here. Watch out for him, Christopher Grimes Jr. He starts right at the back, and I don't think he'll stay there for too long. So a great grid of tin tops now as the Coffee to Go Fiesta STs come towards us to start their race. There we are, great shot from the back of the grid, showing all these one-make Fiestas, and a great grid of them. 20 cars out today, biggest grid we've had of them so far this year. Fiesta Championships proving very popular this year with 21 Z-Techs here. A lot of these drivers are Z-Tech graduates. Just lining up, getting their grid spots ready. Some of the less experienced drivers in the back taking a few minutes to find where they should be on the grid. And we'll see a grid. There's Trevor Farrar, beautifully liveried car. Runs that car with his dad, the Farrar Motors car. He's been right on the pace this year. He didn't have great luck last time out, but he had plenty of pace. So he'll be looking for another good showing. Simon Dean in there too. He's an associate sponsor of this championship through his Dean Motors business. And away they go. Is it going to be Byrne? No, it looks like Dave Maguire from the outside of the front row. Maguire side by side with Byrne. Dave Maguire's got the nose in front. Surely McDonald will go back at him. He does. And the Coffee to Go car leads. Kevin Doran looking to shuffle down the inside. Denning is already up the inside. Somebody gone around. That's Michael Cullen. A little bit of contact. Ross Barnes goes off. They're all staying apart though. There's nobody stopping. I don't think we see somebody heading off to the left through the gravel trap there. And Eddie Peterson looking to have a go now at Victor Cullen as they head down towards turn 3. Look at this, because the Suzuki car already on the attack. There we go. Kev Doran, he's always the entertainer. Dispatches Dave Maguire and is closing in already. Look at Dara Denning. Doesn't care that he hasn't got any experience in these cars. Already trying to have a go at his teammate Dave Maguire. He's no experience in these cars, Dara Denning. And again, the Suzuki car side by side takes the lead, or does he? He's on the outside coming down into Bridgestone corner. Can he get around the outside? Possibly. Graham McDonald under big pressure here and tries to hang on the inside. I think he's done it, but Doran says no, I'm going to go right the way around the outside. All the curb, a little bit of grass. They just give each other a little elbow, and I think Doran's going to get this done, you know. He does. Kev Doran leads in the yellow H Motorsport car, and he gets the back out and stands on the power, but he's gone in too deep. McDonald's cut across the back of him. They're going to be side by side again. Doran trying to contain him, but I think McDonald's done enough. He's just got to sit there now until 7A, and that's what he's doing. Dave Maguire right in here too. Great to see that pace from him. So Graham McDonald down the inside, car number 48. He's got his lead back, and Kev Doran's going to have to slot back in behind him again. Then it's Denning down the inside and contact with his teammate there, and Dave Maguire is spun around and off backwards, and I'm sure there'll be words about that one later on, but I think that's Victor Cullen right in there with them, and if it is, he'd be absolutely delighted with this one. All the rest of the cars stream through, but the battle here up front is Graham McDonald from Kevin Doran. Dara Denning there in third place. Really impressive stuff from him. So great stuff from the Coffee to Go Fiesta STs. Oh, look, half a gap. That'll do Kevin Doran, and he's in it. Oh, he goes around himself. Is he going to hang on to it? No. I thought it was a little bit self-inflicted, Kev Doran there, wasn't it? He just got down a gap that wasn't really there. I don't know how the car turned. It looked a little bit odd, but he's got going again. I don't think that's the end of it. Dara Denning now fancies a go here. And Eddie Peterson next up, and Max Turley in fourth place. I told you the young guys were the ones to watch. This is great stuff. Somebody down the inside. Victor Cullen loses a place to Ronan McHale. Ronan McHale loves these wet weather conditions. A former winner of the 6-hour race, and flashing lights up front now as Denning looking to have a go at the leader. Here they come. Just look at Dara Denning. He already has the championship leader defending down into turn 1. Now Graham McDonald will use the head here. He wants to win the championship, and he has it almost won, but he'll also want to win on this live TV, won't he? But Dara Denning giving it all to talk about here, the Murray Motorsport car, and he's in second place on his debut. It's all about the debuts today on this ICCR live stream. So they're heading out towards turn 3 now. Again, commitment from Denning. Young Carter and Janetta Junior driver, but doing so well on his ST debut. Oh, look at that beautiful balance. Back in the car, let's go. Catches it straight away on the throttle and away up the hill. That is Victor Cullen in there too. I suspected it might be Michael, but Victor Cullen, he'd be loving this, and Michael will have a long trip home if Victor beats him in this one. Victor Cullen, very well known to us, of course, on Digital Motorsport from sim racing, which he's pretty handy at, but he's pretty handy at Fiesta ST racing too, and he likes the wet, doesn't he? He's going really well. Victor Cullen right in the mix up front. So here's Graham McDonald again, number 48 in the Coffee to Go car. Just balancing these little cars here. Denning a little bit tighter and perhaps a little bit quicker. Danger Man very much in third place is Eddie Peterson. That's Kev Doran trying to make up a few places there. I don't think we're finished with him just yet. Down into 7A again, hard on the brakes, and McDonald holding the centre of the road. And now there's 4 cars for the lead, almost 5. Victor Cullen in there too. And it's Ronan McHale, a gap back then to the rest as they come towards us. 48 still leads, and he's got a little bit of a gap now because Eddie Peterson suddenly has caught Denning. Look at Eddie Peterson, the auto tester, all sorts of angles, almost backing the car in there, getting it sideways before the apex, but completely back straight again at the apex. Crucial stuff, so he's not scrubbing off too much speed. Mick Merrigan, of course, very much involved in the running of car number 48. He'd be delighted with this one. He'd be down there on the pit wall, and very much an Irish motorsport stalwart, Mick Merrigan, and he'd be waving on his man Graham McDonald to take yet another win here and move even closer to the title. There's Ross Barnes in the background. Oh no, Ronan McHale off. Touches the barrier, not too hard. I wonder, can he get going again? Back end just got away going through paddock corner there. Easy enough to happen. He's been very, very quick in this car all day. It's just gone wrong from there. Not sure if the car won't start or if it's badly damaged, but he's not rejoining immediately anyway. And it looks like Graham McDonald's beginning to ease away up front. Look at Max Turley on the brakes, closing right in. And there's the young man we're talking about, Victor Cullen. What a day for Victor Cullen so far. He will absolutely love this in the Beacon car. Beacon Sports Clinic on the side of that car. Beacon Hospital Health Check, of course, helping us out today with the live streaming of this event, so thank you very much to them. It's great to be back broadcasting live from Mondello Park. It's great to be able to showcase the racing that we've had this year at the ICCR. The paddock is a happier place to be. There are more cars in it as Max Turley drifts around turn 3. And sure, oh, I can do even better, says that. I think that was McMullen completely sideways, but I think he held it. But that will allow surely Kevin Doran. It has allowed Kevin Doran past him there in the background at the top of your screens. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars now up Kennedy's Rise, heading for Lola Corner. Then it's the recovering Kev Doran and McMullen, and then Jack Byrne next up, and then Gordon Kellett, who's come up right through from the back. Gordon Kellett going nicely. Then it's Farrar, and then it is Dave Maguire. See, is Michael Cullen still going? Michael Cullen back in 9th place when they went across the line the last time, and that probably will seal the championship for McDonald if Cullen's that far down. Getting a slight nod here from the man with the calculator in the background. Look at that, Victor Cullen. It's great to see him going so well. I'll be interested to have a chat with Victor this evening if he gets a good placing, because he's just so into it, works really hard at his racing. And oh, look at the front two drifting the cars through Bahrain's Bend there. Eddie Peterson still with them, but can't close the gap. Then it's the two young stars, Max Turley and Victor Cullen, and the Cullen and Turley names well known to us here at Mondello Park for saloon car antics, wins and championships. Michael Cullen, of course, has done more winning than most, and Mark Turley was one of the quickest and most spectacular saloon car drivers here a few years back. So it's great to see the younger generation having a go. And in fact, Denning's the same thing. Liam Denning, I think, won all the Fiat championships here. So it's in the genes when the Dennings come out to play. I think it's not over yet up front, though. Look at this. Denning trying a different line up the inside, looking for traction. Track is certainly drying up just a little bit. Fastest lap to Dara Denning that time round. And I think they're heading, no, they're not heading to anywhere near dry times yet. It's still very much slippy out there, but Dara Denning has closed that gap down. And you notice him moving around. He's using his head here. He's trying a different line coming onto the main straight. And he's obviously found time somewhere, because we saw for the last couple of laps, Graham McDonald was easing away. Not anymore. Denning has taken big chunks out of him here, and he looks like a danger man. He was flashing his lights in qualifying this morning. He's been flashing them at these other guys to try and get by already in this race, Denning, and that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to pressurise Graham McDonald into letting the car go sideways, but it's Eddie Peterson who gets it way out of shape. Victor Cullen controls it nicely there when the back gets away. Kev Doran, the only one that doesn't get it out of shape. There's a sentence I never thought I'd say. Oh, Denning dancing on the edge down into Bridgestone Corner now. And that's how you got to drive these cars. You get the back end floating and then just control them on the throttle. It's exactly what Dara Denning is doing as he heads up Kennedy's Rise now into the quick right-hander. And again, he closes right in. He's very confident, isn't he, on Graham McDonald. These two absolutely together. He's looking to get up the inside. McDonald says no way and has that covered. Denning stays on the inside. McDonald has to go right across to the right, uber defensive on the way down towards 7A and B now. Great stuff from the coffee to go man as they head down. Oh, here comes Denning with a big lunge. That's very Alex Denning-esque. It must be in the family. What a move into 7A. Thank you very much, says Dara Denning in the Dennings Motors car on his debut in the coffee to go Fiesta ST class. Graham McDonald knows better than to battle that. I think he wants the championship more than the win. But what a move from young Denning. It's great to see. And now we'll see how much pace he's actually got. He's already got fastest lap as Max Turley drifts through in the background. Beautiful shot there of Max Turley getting it way out of shape but holding it. Yeah, and look at this now. He's not easing away. He's streaking away. He's the class of the field here in this one so far. Victor Cullen under a bit of pressure now. Who's that? Kevin Doran has caught him in the Suzuki car. Goes a bit wide again and Victor gets better traction out of there. Here's the leader up to south side, down through the gears, right down to second gear, right into the apex, then easing on the part. Again, takes that tight line. Do you notice that? Look at everybody else going right out to the outside. Dara Denning doesn't go right to the outside. Takes a tight exit line, looking for extra grip on the inside. Doran has done the same, just at the bottom of your screen, the top of your screen now, and he's got alongside Victor Cullen. I don't know if he's got by. He has got by. There they go, top of the screen, headlights on. Kev Doran just did the same thing, got up the inside and just out-dragged him as they came out onto the main straight. And Victor Cullen again just staying there, not doing anything too wild. This will be his best result to date, I feel. So it's Denning, McDonald, Eddie Peterson, Max Turley, Kevin Doran, Victor Cullen, Jack Byrne, Darren McMullen, Gordon Kellett and Dave Maguire, and that's your top 10 in the Coffee to Go Fiesta STs. So still 5 minutes to go in this one, so it's not over yet, certainly not over yet. Look at Max Turley hovering around behind Eddie Peterson. I think Kevin Doran on a bit of a move here. Fastest lap is to Kevin Doran last time round. Now that's interesting. Let's see how much progress he can make. Oh, and Eddie Peterson, the back end of Eddie Peterson's car is a little bit wayward, isn't it? A little bit like Toll Say It in the last race. And Eddie probably has, if he hasn't got better car control than anyone else, he's as good. He has a lovely touch for a car. He's a master auto test driver. And he must have gone a little bit hard at the back, hoping it would dry out perhaps on his settings. I think he might have gambled on a drier setting because the back of that car is moving around a lot. Now he is holding it, but again, as we saw in the last race, that will slow you right down. And Max Turley going really well. Somebody off there, Trevor Farrar. He's okay, he's recovered and he's back going again. Out of turn 3, and look at the lead Denning has. The battle here is for third place, but it's going to be joined by the Suzuki Drogheda car. It is Kevin Doran absolutely flying. He's streaked away from Victor and he's closing in on this battle now. So Denning would be as well keep the head down out front because we don't know how far up Kevin Doran can go. Watch this. Battle for third place. Final step of the podium. It's Peterson. It's Turley. And now it's Doran right with them. Turley looking very good here. Very smooth exit to Bahrain's Benz, and Peterson had to defend. And Kev Doran will be absolutely loving this one. Gives it absolutely everything, Doran. He's closing right up to them. Quickest man on track at the moment. 2:14.7. That's a full half second quicker than the leader last time round. And I suspect this lap time is going to be quicker again. Let's watch them as they go through. Denning takes fastest lap with a 14.1, but let's see what Doran does. No, he doesn't beat it, interesting enough. So Doran that time round with a 14.4, so Denning is quickest man on track by 3/10 and then Doran. But Doran won't do any fast laps for a few laps. He's got to dispose of a few cars here in front. Max Turley, you can see Turley has taken his eyes off the car in front and is looking at the rear view mirror now. He's let Eddie Peterson away and he knows this car is coming behind. Look at the leader though, no mistakes. Absolutely loving these conditions. Really, really impressive stuff from Dara Denning. Let's hope he returns to this championship on a full-time basis. Again, the back end of Eddie Peterson's car wayward, and that allows them both to get a run. Is it 3 abreast at the end? Oh, Eddie just turns right. I don't think so, boys. And in fact, Max Turley had to back out of that one. He had a great run, but Peterson just came straight across the track. Now, Kevin Doran didn't back out of it, so he's made it one place. He's looking for a second one round the outside. He's not in the mood for taking prisoners today. Oh, Eddie Peterson gives him a little kiss at the door handle, and Kev goes grass cutting. I don't think that's over just yet, though. And look at this, Max Turley round the outside. No, Kev goes back at him on the brakes. Kevin Doran is not in a compromising mood. And again, Eddie Peterson's car, it's like a Mark II Escort. It's got an identity crisis, this little Fiesta ST. And he holds it. Turley having a go now. And this is classic saloon car racing from these guys. It really is. Whole performance. Look at Max Turley. He has no experience compared to the two guys in front. And he has a go down the outside, tries to switch back to the inside. Kevin will be, oh, Eddie's car again looks very wayward. And that gives the drive to Kevin Doran now. And he's going to get alongside. Is that door going to be closed? It is going to be closed. No, he's not going to be closed. He gets the nose down the inside. Can't make it stick there to the left and right. He'll be looking for a switch back here. No, he stays to the outside. He's so committed, Kevin Doran, but that'll let Max Turley down the inside, will it? Possibly. Eddie Peterson is hanging on here by his fingernails on this one, but Kevin Doran is trying to have a go absolutely everywhere. This is great stuff. Only a minute and a half to go, so probably going on to their last lap now. Oh no, Max Turley, after such a superb performance, goes around, but that just kisses the bank. That car will be fine. The tyres did their job and absorbed the impact. That is such a shame. That young man had really been impressing us today, Max Turley, but I don't think we've seen the last of him. And that's Victor Cullen up another place. Here's Denning, complete another domination now as he starts his final lap. Second place man Graham McDonald will probably clinch the championship with this one. We'll do the numbers later on. There's Victor Cullen going superbly. Is that Max Turley back on track? It is. Having a go already, a teammate. It is 3 Murray Motorsport cars together. He's just stuck it in between Gordon Kellett and Dave Maguire. Out of the way, chaps. Here he comes down the outside, Max Turley. Gordon Kellett, one of the hardest men ever to get by in Mondello Park. I met him this morning and said, have you been testing? And he came out with his famous Gordon Kellett line, why have they changed the track? So Gordon racing purely for the opportunity to slag everyone else and have a bit of fun these days. He was in great form this morning in the paddock and having great fun. Here comes Eddie Peterson now. And with the headlights on, the final lap of the car moving around under him, it's Kevin Doran, but he's lost ground somewhere there to Peterson. So Doran on a last lap challenge to try and get a podium position. There's that battle again. Great battles all the way down the grid in the Coffee to Go Fiesta ST Championship. Oh, he's got by. Turley's got by both of them. Max Turley, great stuff. So Gordon Kellett and Dave McGuire both would have raced against Max's dad, Mark Turley, but he's just got by the two of them. Here's the hero of the race, though, and this could end up very well as driver of the day. Young Dara Denning doing absolutely beautiful. He's got pace, he's got racecraft, he's got it all, and he's also got a second race later on today where we'll see him back out again. So the Dennings car, of course, they're one of the best-known body shops in the country in Dublin, and huge motorsport history. His mother and father both raced. His brother Alex has been won the championship in this car before. They've both had success in karting, so they've sponsored championships down here. They're great friends to Irish motorsport as well. The Dennings, huge association with Steve Griffin Motorsport going back in the years with Liam Denning. This car is run by Murray Motorsport, and everybody hugely impressed by Dara Denning now. No mistakes, up to the final corner in that beautifully turned out Dennings car, and here he comes, and they'll go mad on the pit wall. Indeed they do. The checkered flag is raised. He's weaving from side to side. How about that for Dara Denning? Incredible stuff, and he puts away all the regulars in the Coffee to Go Fiesta Championship. Great stuff from Dara Denning. Graham MacDonald takes second place. Eddie Peterson hangs on for third ahead of the entertainer Kevin Doran. And what about Victor Cullen? His best result by a long way in fifth place, with Jack Byrne going to be next up. Here's this battle with the recovering Max Turley, and he's just driven away from Gordon Kellett and Dave McGuire in this one, and that will put Max Turley, he should cross the line, I think in ninth place. No, 8th, is it? Let's see, yeah, 8th place. Good recovery from Max Turley. Oh, that's Keane O'Brien, 555 in the Pro Tune car, just off on the last lap. Unfortunate for him. There is Dara Denning. He'd be absolutely delighted with this one. He's got another race later on, and what we do in this Fiesta ST Championship is we swap the top 6. So that means on pole position for race 2 will be Jack Byrne with Victor Cullen alongside him, Kevin Doran and Eddie Peterson on row 2, and Graham MacDonald and Dara Denning on row 3. So don't miss that one later on in the stream, because there will be loads of entertainment from the Fiesta STs, as you've just seen, come out for their second race of the day. So fantastic stuff, and an absolutely superb performance there from young Dara Denning. Well, there you go, ladies and gents. You've got to take a deep breath and a bottle of water after that one. Great entertainment there from the first two tin-top races at the ICCR. I'm delighted they're performing so well, because we've had this all year at Mondello Park, and now we get a chance to showcase it live on TV. So we're going for a lunch break now, and we'll be back at somewhere around the 1:30 mark with the Siltex Safety Fiesta Z-Tech Championship, which should give us more of the same.